Jamie, what a weekend for you, mate.
Yeah, it was cracking, mate. One of the best ones yet.
Arguably your best Sunday in boxing of all time so far. Because we don't often have boxing on a Sunday.
Yeah. Well, apart from the little second round win one Sunday afternoon on one of Steve Wood's shows in about the year 2000, and probably right up there. But just, you look at someone like Chantelle, who's come here just about 18 months ago, maybe 2 years ago, saying she was ready for walking away from boxing, and she was hoping that we'd be able to help her out and get her back into it, because she'd seen the videos with Carl and stuff in the gym, and the atmosphere looked good, and she was just hoping.
Because she did train with Carl, didn't she?
She trained with Carl before, she knew him.
Under the Kugan.
Yeah, and she knew Carl from before, and she was hoping that it'd get her sort of spark back and reignite the fire for her, and it has done. And then signing with MTK, they got the deal in place with Eddie. Eddie's delivered the world title shot, and within a 2-year period, it's gone from a nearly walking away to being crowned a world champion.
She made a fight that could have been quite a dangerous fight into a very, very easy fight, and as the judges scored it, it was a shutout, wasn't it? It was 190 on everyone's scorecards. Very rarely do you get that.
No, and the thing with Chantelle is she punches so hard, and she's never had to show a boxing ability. She's always been first and foremost a pressure fighter, and she always will be. But I've seen her spar Cindy in here.
Cindy's a middleweight.
Cindy's a middleweight and is a really good fighter. So she's had to adjust and adapt. The better Cindy's got, the better Chantelle's had to be. So I've always known she can box, but she's never had to show in a fight. And then the first time she does have to show it is on the biggest stage possible, which is always added pressure. And then to add to that is the girl came in so much heavier. But all them little things, sort of Chantelle knowing how good she spars against Cindy and knowing the weight she gives away, sort of settled her a little bit. And like I've always said about her, she's such a sweet girl. She's so nice and timid and shy. And then as soon as you put a pair of gloves on her, she just switches. And that's what happened the other night. She switched. She was on the game. She followed the game plan to a T, and she's world champion.
Fucking world champion.
Fucking world champion. She said to me, listen, she said, do you think I can tweet I'm only fucking world champion, but change the U to a asterisk? I went, of course you can do what you want, it's your social media. And then she forgot to do it and just put fucking. and then she was like, when she realised about 20 minutes later, she was like, oh, I'm going to take it down and change it. I went, don't you fucking dare.
No, it was brilliant. But before we get into Aqib though, Mr. Travis just gone up to number 2 in the debaging, because he got Kugan with an absolute classic.
Yeah. Kugan was.
Why?
He begged me for 10 minutes, please don't put it on. But it had to be done, and we've actually been trying to get him for 2 years, and he's always tired, he's always prepared, and me and Nige, we've got like a little Morse code signal, so for when someone's not prepared, and he had his hands down his pants, he stood there talking to us, and I was like, we're on here. So the latest victim.
Oh, the best one, I'd say. That's only behind Tommy's Eddie Earns one, because I don't think
that'll ever be topped. So
well, Eddie had no kicks on, did he?
We better. I think we should stop trying to beat that one and just accept that that'll always be the best one. Kugan could be number 2 there.
Well, the new number 1. Mind you, the 2 with the Umar when he walked into the hotel was a good one.
That was a good one. And now Nige said he's all out. He's going to do the full Monty and get everyone from IFL, which. Andy McCarthy's the next one, he said, but Andy said he'll never get him, but that's what Kugan said.
Watch out. Well, I think I've been done, and I'm everyone at VIP TV. So.
Every other day you get done, Lee.
I'm just a sadist, I think I'll just enjoy it.
It was that easy, I've stopped doing it.
And then Aqib, I don't think people realise what a tough fight that actually was for him.
Could have been.
It could have been, and he come through with flying colours. I mean, Kane Baker fought like a little demon in there. He just didn't leave him alone, but he boxed. For me,
Kane gave it his all,
Yeah.
and Kane for some reason was aggrieved afterwards that he'd lost the fight, but he lost the fight, and you know he's moaning saying, oh, he said he was going to outfight me and he didn't outfight me, but that's what game plan and tactics are for. He kept saying he was going to stand and have a fight with him to make him think that the fact that he fell for it is not our fault, that's his fault. And the way you don't score a fight on trying to win or how much effort you're putting in the gym. I understand it's heartbreaking because he has turned his life around, and I think that he deserves all the credit in the world for that. But because he's tried his hardest in the gym and dedicated himself, doesn't mean that he's won the fight. So, and I think he's made the wrong decision if he does hang the gloves up. I don't think he should. I think he's definitely still got a lot to offer at a certain level. I think he can come. Probably lightweight's a better weight for him as well. I think he can come and give people good fights. But for me, Aqib, like I said, ring craft and ring generalship. He's above his years. He's beyond his years.
Because he'd only just turned 21, and that was only his 6th fight. And in those 6 fights, he's fought a future Midlands area champion, a guy who'd been the Southern area champion twice in 2 different weights, and obviously Kane Baker, who'd been the Midlands area champion as well. So in 6 fights, he's already fought kids that perhaps maybe 4 or 5 fights down the line before he gets that.
His most dangerous fight was his second pro fight,
Ben Fields. And
the fact of the matter is, we took that fight because I knew it was going to be a difficult fight for him. But I'd said to Steve Wood when Aqib turned pro, this kid can go right to the top if we match him right. He needs to take them lessons, what tough kids bring you early on in his career, so that he's not learning in British title fights. He's already took the lessons on. So Ben Fields was always a difficult fight, and I would have never took it over 6 or 8 rounds because I knew that's when the danger lies. But because he was stuck to the tactics so well in that fight, gave me more confidence in him listening and doing what I asked him to do. And the reason he won that fight the other night the way he did was because of the lessons he learned from the Ben Fields fight. So this is why I feel it's dead important when you've got a kid like Aqib who's got loads of natural ability. He's like a sponge, he absorbs it all, and he's so dedicated to the sport.
Well, I obviously knew that was a game plan. We know Aqib can fight, and he's a little terrier when he wants to. But as you said, 8 rounds, you wanted him to show something different. And the work that he'd been doing with Jack Cattrall was actually...
You've seen it working.
It was there.
He was hanging on a little bit in the pocket, and that I didn't like that. But he was getting hit around the back of the head and stuff like that, so it was probably the safest option. But for 80% of the fight, he timed him into shots, that check left hook on the way in, the little nudges in the pocket to create a bit of space,
stabbing to the body.
He did everything what he's been showing in the gym. So, and he's a baby. He's just literally at the start. So he's showing that sort of improvement in such a short space of time. You give him 18 months from now and watch the fight it is again. So I'm excited about it, but honestly, Kane Baker, don't retire. Stick at it. You'll have some good wins from there. I promise you, it's not that he's not as good as he thinks he is. It's just that Aqib's a bit better than he expected him to be. That was all. But I've seen Aqib do that with Carl Frampton. Jack Cattrall. He sparred a kid who was 21-0 in Vegas and absolutely bossed it.
I think he was getting ready for a world title fight, that kid, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, we're not talking about your bog standard average British prospect here who's going to maybe win a British title. I feel he's going to go all the way, and he's like I say, he's at the early stages, but he's showing so much improvement.
Yeah, well, like I said, fantastic weekend, and topped off by debaging Kugan.
That was on Friday as well, and one of the best on our group, on our gym group, which you can imagine is fucking brilliant banter. But as soon as we was on there, Tommy put, "This is a great omen, because when you debag someone on the day of a fight, it always sends good vibes." And that's because Tommy debagged Eddie Hearn 4 hours before he fought in Boston.
Well, he won.
And he won, and he performed really well. And the same thing happened the other day, so everyone's got to be very, very careful on fight day now.
Jamie, it's always a pleasure, mate. We thought I was going to get the man who did it in Nige Travis, but he's off doing his fighting job, innit?
He is, but you've also got to book him with his agent now. He's getting above his station. It's bad news, mate.
See you later, mate. Bye.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.